What's up? This is Sean. I'm going to explain to you why you got this question wrong, how to answer it correctly. So here we got this inference question. And for these questions, we want to focus on correlations or cause and effect relationships within the passage. And if we look at the first green underline, we see that today's typical rate of return on a bachelor's degree is around 14%. Now in this sentence, if we look at the beginning of the sentence, it starts with however. It's contrasting with the first sentence, which is asking or stating that some arguing that the cost of tuition and the time spent pursuing a degree may not be worth the potential return. So the claim by Abel and Dietz in the first underlined sentence is saying that this 14% is much higher than this return was in the 1970s. If we look at the pink underline, we see it is well above the 8 to 9% return that American graduates of the 1970s were recouping when tuition fees were approximately 80% lower than those in 2022. So these findings suggest that the inference that we can make here is that even though the cost of tuition has significantly risen, it is also a better investment because the return today around 14% is much higher than what it was in the 1970s. So we're anticipating this kind of answer. So now let's look at our answer choices. The rate of return on the cost of a bachelor's degree will never exceed 16%. As soon as we see that word never, it's a very absolute word, we can cross this out. Answer choice bravo. College graduates from the 1970s experienced the best of value. Again, we have this absolute statement. There's nothing to suggest that the returns will never exceed 16% or that the best value for the tuition was during the 1970s. Answer choice Charlie is probably the most confusing, something that was probably tempting to many of you. College graduates today will need more time to recoup the costs. Now, this seems like something that could be true, but the word time here, saying like it'll take more time to make enough money to recoup these costs, but if we remember that our passage is really about whether or not college today is worth the investment. And the two sentences that we've underlined is really emphasizing that the rate of return is significantly greater than what it used to be in the 1970s. So answer choice delta is the best inference that we can make based on the evidence in this passage. It's that today's college education is more expensive, but it's also a more valuable investment than it was in the 1970s. So Charlie, kind of tempting, but delta clearly the best answer. Got it? Good. Sean out.